Welcome back, my name is Steven Hollander and I'll tell you a story about the cycles of time. In any trading software you will find a tool called the cycle tool. The main idea behind it is to place it on the chart and look for turning points in trend. Trade like that and it's a quick way to go bankrupt. The idea is to divide the horizontal axis, the time axis, of the chart into equal segments. And this is where it gets interesting. You might already know that cycle and circle basically mean the same thing, but I'll return to that in a minute. And you should also have the experience about time and price charts that price is definitely a quantity but time is not, which basically means that time is not a measure in itself. Price is a number as it is, a quantity, but to measure time you always need to relate it to something. In this case you need to relate it to price. It's really not as complicated as it sounds. The fundamental issue with this tool is simple. It makes you think that cycles are built up in a sequence like numbers, one after another. Even if you are familiar with the idea that cycles are built up within each other, you imagine that bigger cycles are built up by adding smaller cycles together. In a sense, yes. I'm not saying the linear concept is all wrong, but to understand how smaller cycles and bigger cycles are really built up, you need to leave the linear concept behind and use the circular concept. This is how you can think about cycles when you use a circle for illustration. When you identify a cycle, you need to think of a smaller cycle that is literally within, or the same way a cycle is incorporated into an even bigger cycle. You have to think of them as concentric circles. In this way you can understand why I'm saying that cycles are not mere quantities as the linear concept makes you think. The problem is that you cannot tell which point of a smaller cycle corresponds to another point of a bigger cycle. Smaller cycles have no direct relation to bigger cycles. So this is the fundamental issue you face when you try to understand cycles. You need to make the connection. This was the major issue for Gann, but he solved it simply. How? He realized that he did not need to find out how every single point of a smaller cycle corresponds to a point of a bigger cycle. He said that you only need to watch designated points that will possibly correspond to a regular measure that you can define. These regular measurements on time and price charts are the angles. Well, thank you for now and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.